There's something terrifying about a Sigma male who doesn't argue, who doesn't react, explain, or defend himself. While others waste words, he studies behavior. He doesn't expose manipulators with confrontation. He does it with silence. Every move, every glance, every pause is calculated. He doesn't need to outtalk anyone. He outthinks them. Because the truth is, when a Sigma male understands human nature, no one can control him. He reads intentions before they're spoken. He stays calm while others reveal themselves in chaos. And by the time the manipulator realizes he's been figured out, it's already over. This video will show you exactly how Sigma males use silence, awareness, and emotional control to dismantle manipulation from the inside out, without saying a single word. Subscribe to UltraWise for more deep Sigma psychology insights, and tell me in the comments, do you fight manipulation with silence or confrontation? They read intentions, not words. A Sigma male doesn't listen just to what people say, he listens to what they mean. Words to him are only surface-level noise. What really matters is tone, timing, hesitation, and the energy behind the sentence. He knows when someone's compliment hides envy or when "I care about you" actually means "I want to control you." That's why manipulators struggle around him. Their charm and persuasion tricks fall flat because he's reading the current beneath their language, not the surface. He notices the tiny inconsistencies most people miss, the glance that lingers too long, the subtle change in tone, the tension between words and body language. These micro-signals tell him everything he needs to know long before the person finishes speaking. While others get caught in emotional manipulation, the Sigma male quietly decodes it in real time. He doesn't interrupt or argue. He simply takes mental notes. To him, human behavior is a pattern, and every sentence is data. When he senses hidden motives, he doesn't expose them. He adjusts his distance. It's not revenge. It's self-protection powered by awareness. This ability to read intentions, not words, is why manipulators can't get close. They try to play chess, but he's already seen the entire board. They stay calm when others try to trigger them. The Sigma male's calmness isn't luck. It's a skill sharpened by years of observation, disappointment, and self-control. He's learned that the moment you react emotionally, you hand over power. Manipulators thrive on reaction, anger, frustration, defensiveness, because every outburst gives them something to use. But the Sigma knows this game too well. When someone tries to provoke him, he doesn't respond with words or emotion. He studies. He's seen how people bait others with drama, guilt, or subtle disrespect just to test control. Instead of playing along, he disconnects internally. His face stays unreadable, his tone level, his body language grounded. This composure frustrates manipulators more than any argument could because it denies them the emotional fuel they need to dominate. In their confusion, they often overplay their hand, revealing their true intentions without realizing it. What others see as indifference is actually discipline. The Sigma doesn't suppress emotion, he filters it. He understands that most conflicts are psychological traps designed to drag him into chaos. So while others lose control trying to win arguments, he wins by staying untouchable. His calmness is a mirror. And when manipulators look into it, they see the one thing they can't stand, their own loss of power. They observe patterns instead of arguments. A Sigma male doesn't waste time debating, defending, or trying to prove his point. He's not interested in what people say in the heat of the moment. He's focused on what they do over time. While most people get lost in circular arguments, trying to win through words, the Sigma is already tracking the invisible pattern beneath it all. He understands that human behavior is a series of repetitions, and that the truth always hides in consistency, not confession. When someone lies, manipulates, or pretends, they'll eventually slip. They'll show it through timing, tone, or repeated contradictions. The Sigma knows this, which is why he rarely argues. He lets people reveal themselves naturally, without pressure. His silence in conflict isn't weakness, it's data collection. Every reaction, excuse, and over-explanation gives him more information about who he's really dealing with. While others engage emotionally, the Sigma watches like a chess player studying his opponent. He looks for moves, not words. For what patterns repeat when someone's comfortable versus when they're threatened. This emotional detachment allows him to stay several steps ahead. He doesn't take betrayal personally because he saw it coming. He doesn't hold grudges because he already learned what he needed from the behavior. To outsiders, this looks cold or distant, but it's actually high-level awareness. By choosing to observe patterns instead of arguments, the Sigma male avoids emotional traps that drain others. He lets people expose their truth on their own timeline. And when he finally walks away, it's not out of confusion or anger, it's with complete clarity. Because by then, the pattern has already told him everything he needs to know. They use silence to expose hidden agendas. For the Sigma male, silence isn't just the absence of words, it's a strategic tool. He knows that manipulators and pretenders rely on noise, reactions, and emotional chaos to keep control. So instead of arguing or defending himself, he goes quiet. That silence creates discomfort, the kind that forces people to reveal who they truly are, because when the Sigma stops engaging, the mask starts slipping. He's learned that people reveal more in his silence than they ever would through confrontation. When he doesn't respond to pressure, guilt, or manipulation, others rush to fill the silence, explaining too much, exposing their insecurities, or contradicting themselves. The Sigma simply observes, watching as their own words become the evidence of their intentions. What they thought would corner him only ends up exposing them. This calm silence also reclaims psychological control. It denies manipulators what they crave most, reaction. When he stays quiet, their tactics lose power. They can't twist his words, they can't feed on his emotion, and they can't dominate a conversation that he's already chosen to end. His silence becomes their mirror, forcing them to face the discomfort they usually project onto others. Most people underestimate the Sigma's quiet because they mistake it for indifference, but it's the opposite. It's awareness in its purest form. He's analyzing, calculating, and letting the truth unfold naturally. By the time he finally speaks, he already knows the full picture. Silence, for him, is not retreat, it's revelation. It's how he exposes hidden agendas without ever lifting a finger. They mirror behavior to disarm manipulation. A Sigma male doesn't confront manipulation with direct conflict. He studies it, mirrors it, and lets it collapse on itself. When someone tries to control or deceive him, he doesn't argue or defend himself emotionally. Instead, he reflects the same tone, rhythm, and emotional energy right back, giving the manipulator a taste of their own tactics. It's not revenge, it's awareness in action. He's mastered the psychological art of mirroring because he understands how people reveal their motives through their reactions. When he subtly mirrors someone's behavior, they start to expose themselves. The overconfident become defensive, the liars stumble, and the emotional manipulators begin to lose balance. They sense something's off, but can't quite identify it, because for once, their usual tricks don't work. This mirroring technique disarms manipulators because it removes emotional leverage. The Sigma doesn't offer the reactions they're used to exploiting. When they exaggerate, he stays calm. When they guilt trip, he stays factual. When they try to dominate, he matches their energy with quiet composure. Over time, the manipulator grows frustrated and confused, realizing they're no longer in control of the dynamic. What makes the Sigma's approach so effective is that it's subtle, almost invisible. He doesn't need to expose anyone publicly or cause a scene. His calm, mirrored responses hold up a psychological mirror that forces others to confront their own manipulation. Eventually, they pull away, not because he fought them, but because they can't stand seeing their tactics reflected back at them. By mastering emotional mirroring, the Sigma male protects his peace without aggression. He doesn't need to play dirty or fight loud battles. His awareness alone dismantles deception, quietly, effectively, and permanently. They detach emotionally before making decisions. One of the Sigma male's greatest advantages is his ability to separate emotion from evaluation. When most people make decisions, they're driven by how they feel in the moment: fear, anger, excitement, or guilt. But the Sigma male has learned through experience that emotions cloud judgment, especially when dealing with manipulation, betrayal, or high-pressure situations. So before he makes any move, he disconnects emotionally, like flipping a switch that clears the noise from his mind. This doesn't mean he lacks feeling. It means he refuses to let those feelings make choices for him. He understands that emotional decisions often lead to regret, so he steps back mentally to assess the situation from every angle. Whether it's walking away from a toxic relationship, turning down a deal that looks good on paper, or cutting ties with people who drain him, he gives himself space to observe without reacting. That pause is his power. In those moments of silence and solitude, he processes everything: the facts, the behavior patterns, the possible outcomes. He listens to his intuition, but he lets logic confirm it. This emotional detachment isn't cold. It's strategic clarity. It allows him to see manipulation for what it is, to recognize false loyalty, and to act from strength rather than impulse. And once he makes his decision, he doesn't look back. There's no second guessing, no guilt, no emotional aftermath. The Sigma male moves forward with calm precision because he's already detached from what doesn't serve his peace. That's what makes him impossible to manipulate. He's not ruled by emotion. He's guided by awareness. They turn awareness into strategic advantage. For a Sigma male, awareness isn't just observation, it's a weapon. He doesn't simply notice what people say or do, he analyzes how they move, react, and reveal themselves in subtle ways. Every interaction becomes data. He reads emotional shifts, patterns of behavior, and inconsistencies in tone like a human lie detector, quietly building a psychological map of the people around him. This awareness doesn't just make him perceptive, it makes him impossible to manipulate twice. He's learned that most people expose their intentions long before they act, through small habits, impulsive reactions, or moments of emotional slip. The Sigma doesn't rush to respond. He lets these details accumulate until he can see the entire picture clearly. By the time others realize he's been paying attention, he already knows their next 3 moves. That's how he stays ahead, not by force but through strategic awareness. This heightened perception also makes him selective. He knows who deserves access and who doesn't, who's genuine and who's playing a role. Instead of confronting or arguing, he simply adjusts his distance. The manipulator thinks they've won, not realizing they've been quietly cut out of his inner world. That's the brilliance of his strategy. It's invisible. When others act impulsively, the Sigma male plans. When others seek control, he already holds it. Because he understands the psychology behind every exchange. His awareness gives him power without needing to dominate. He doesn't chase advantage through aggression. He earns it through emotional intelligence, restraint, and precise timing. In a world full of reaction, his quiet awareness becomes his greatest form of control. They let consequences speak louder than confrontation. A Sigma male doesn't waste time arguing with manipulators or defending himself to people who twist the truth. He knows that confrontation often feeds the very drama others crave. Instead, he steps back, observes, and lets time, not his words, deliver the message. His silence becomes the stage where truth reveals itself. Those who lied, manipulated, or underestimated him eventually expose their own behavior through the weight of their consequences. He's mastered the art of restraint. When others expect him to react with anger or frustration, he does nothing. That calm unnerves people because it removes the fuel they rely on to keep control. The Sigma male understands that silence has a psychological impact. It forces others to face themselves without distraction. And when their games fall apart, he doesn't say, "I told you so." He just watches quietly as life proves his point. This approach makes him untouchable. He doesn't need to win arguments because reality always does it for him. He lets people experience the fallout of their own choices, knowing that truth is the sharpest form of justice. By refusing to participate in manipulation or chaos, he maintains emotional dominance, calm, unbothered, and fully in control of himself. In the end, the Sigma male's greatest revenge is his indifference. He doesn't punish. He simply removes his energy and lets the universe take care of balance. And the results are always the same. Those who once underestimated him end up learning the lesson his silence was already teaching. When a Sigma male finally steps back, he doesn't do it to prove a point. He does it to protect his peace. His silence, his control, and his ability to let consequences speak create an aura that can't be challenged. He's not interested in drama, revenge, or validation, only in mastery, purpose, and evolution. That's what makes his calm so powerful, and his absence unforgettable. If this mindset resonates with you, remember, strength isn't about reacting louder, it's about moving smarter. Stay focused, stay grounded, and let your silence do the work. Subscribe to Ultra Wise if you're the kind of person who thrives in silence, grows through pain, and believes that discipline is the ultimate revenge. Let's see who's still watching. What's the one thing you've learned from walking away quietly? Drop it in the comments below.